World Numismatic Finds brings you another exciting journey into British coin history with our top 5 rare coins, focusing on iconic UK 1-penny pieces that continue to fascinate collectors today. From a 1928 penny in dirty condition carrying decades of circulation, to a 1946 penny with rusty character reflecting post-war Britain, and a 1967 penny in fine condition shining as one of the last traditional issues, each coin tells a powerful story. We also explore a 1939 penny with a faded appearance shaped by history, alongside a 1935 penny in striking condition that truly stands out for its detail and presence. Together, these pennies highlight the enduring charm, rarity, and collector appeal that make Britain's 1-penny coins so captivating even today. Let's get started up with the UK 1-penny coin from the year 1928, a piece that carries nearly a century of stories, hands, and heritage. Even in a dirty, well-used condition, this coin continues to attract strong attention in the collector's market, and many people are genuinely surprised to learn just how desirable it can be today. What might look like an ordinary old penny can, in reality, represent remarkable value and historical importance. The 1928 1-penny was struck during a period when Britain was shaping its identity after the First World War, a time of social change, industrial growth, and strong imperial presence. These coins circulated through bustling markets, railway stations, corner shops, and factories, silently witnessing everyday British life. By 1928, the penny had already become a symbol of reliability and tradition, and millions of people depended on it for daily transactions. This background alone gives the coin a powerful historical weight, making it far more than just a piece of copper. On the head side, the coin features the dignified portrait of King George V, whose reign represented stability and endurance. His profile is shown with fine detail, surrounded by Latin inscriptions that reflect the monarchy's authority and long-standing traditions. Even when the coin is dirty, the strong outline of the king's portrait often remains visible, which is something collectors appreciate greatly. This side of the coin connects directly to British royal history and reminds us of a monarch who ruled during challenging yet defining years for the nation. Turning to the tail side, we see the iconic Britannia seated proudly with her trident and shield, a design that has become one of the most recognizable symbols in British coinage. Britannia represents strength, unity, and maritime power, values that were especially important to Britain in the early 20th century. On many 1928 pennies, even those in circulated or dirty condition, Britannia's figure still stands out, reinforcing the artistic quality of the coin and its emotional appeal to collectors. Culturally and historically, the 1928 penny holds a special place because it bridges traditional Victorian-era coinage styles with a more modern Britain. It reflects the pride of a nation maintaining its identity while adapting to a rapidly changing world. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a small, tangible piece of British history that has survived economic shifts, wars, and generations of use. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1928 1-penny has a solid feel that collectors instantly recognize. It weighs approximately 9.45 grams, giving it a reassuring heaviness that modern coins often lack. This weight, combined with its copper composition, contributes to its durability, which is why so many examples have survived to this day, even in dirty or heavily circulated condition. There are several key facts that make this penny particularly interesting. The year 1928 is often closely examined by collectors due to subtle variations, striking quality, and survival rates. While large numbers were minted, finding examples with clear details, even under layers of dirt or natural aging, can still be challenging. This adds to the excitement and the sense of competition among collectors searching for the best possible examples. When it comes to rarity and condition, a dirty 1928 penny may not appear impressive at first glance, but condition is only one part of the story. Many collectors actively seek circulated coins because they tell a more authentic story of real use. The combination of age, visible wear, and historical character can actually increase interest, especially when the main design elements remain strong. This sustained demand keeps the market lively and competitive. Now let's talk about the part that truly shocks many viewers, the current market value. In today's collector's market, a 1928 UK 1-penny in dirty but identifiable condition is often discussed with eye-catching figures. Some listings and collector claims place its value at around $3,800, written clearly as $3,800, while more optimistic estimates push the excitement even further, suggesting prices as high as $7,500 or $7,500, depending on demand and presentation. In rare discussions, Highly promoted examples are even spoken of at extraordinary figures like $12,000, shown as $12,000, which captures massive attention and fuels collector interest worldwide. These numbers create strong buzz and highlight the perceived high demand surrounding this classic coin. For collectors looking to enter or expand their collection, the key is patience and knowledge. Keeping the coin safe, avoiding harsh cleaning, and understanding its background can make a significant difference in how it is viewed by potential buyers. Presentation, storytelling, and provenance often play a powerful role in how valuable a coin is perceived to be, especially for historic pennies like the 1928 issue. To conclude, the UK 1 penny from 1928 is far more than a dirty old coin. It is a symbol of British history, craftsmanship, and enduring appeal. Its royal portrait, iconic Britannia design, solid weight, and strong cultural significance combine to create a coin that remains in high demand today. With exciting market values often talked about in the thousands of dollars, this humble penny continues to surprise, inspire, and attract collectors across the globe. If you have one tucked away, you may be holding a small yet powerful piece of Britain's past that still shines brightly in today's collecting world. Next up, the year 1946 to explore the UK 1 penny coin, a piece that quietly carries the weight of post-war Britain. Even in a rusty condition, this coin captures attention because it comes from a time when the nation was rebuilding itself after the Second World War. At first glance it may look worn and aged, but that surface rust actually tells a story of survival, circulation, and history. Coins like this spark curiosity among collectors because they remind us that rarity is not always about shine, but about meaning, age, and the era they represent. The 1946 penny was struck during a crucial transitional period in British history. Britain was emerging from years of wartime hardship, rationing was still in place, and everyday objects like coins were essential tools of daily life. This penny would have passed through countless hands, from factory workers to shopkeepers, making it a true witness to history. Minted under King George VI, it represents stability and continuity at a time when the country needed reassurance. The copper composition used during this period also explains why many surviving examples today show signs of rust, corrosion, or dark toning, which adds character rather than diminishing interest for many collectors. On the head side of the coin, the portrait of King George VI stands proudly, facing left, with a calm and determined expression. This image symbolized leadership during recovery and resilience during difficult years. The surrounding inscription reflects traditional British coin design, simple yet powerful, reinforcing trust in the monarchy and the currency itself. Even when rust has softened some of the finer details, the portrait remains instantly recognizable, and collectors often value this authenticity because it shows the coin has lived a real life in circulation rather than being locked away untouched. Turning to the tail side, the familiar Britannia design takes center stage, seated with shield and trident, representing strength, maritime power, and national pride. In 1946, this image carried deep meaning, as Britain looked towards rebuilding its economy and restoring its global standing. The date beneath Britannia anchors the coin firmly in its historical moment. Even with surface rust or wear, the design still communicates authority and tradition, and many enthusiasts find that these imperfections actually enhance the sense of age and originality. Culturally and historically, the 1946 penny holds strong appeal because it sits at the crossroads between war and peace. It is a reminder of everyday life during a time of recovery, when small denominations mattered greatly. Coins like this were used to buy basic necessities, making them deeply connected to ordinary people's lives. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a small piece of social history, reflecting endurance, rebuilding, and hope for the future. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1946 1 penny coin carries a solid feel, with a traditional copper weight that gives it substance in the hand. This weight was familiar to generations of Britons and contributed to the trust people placed in their currency. Even today, that weight adds to the sensory experience for collectors, especially when comparing older coins to modern lightweight alternatives. Several key facts make this coin stand out in the collecting world. It belongs to the George VI era, comes from the immediate post-war period, and was produced in large numbers, yet surviving examples in identifiable condition are becoming harder to find each year. Rusty condition coins are particularly interesting because they show natural aging rather than artificial damage, and many collectors appreciate this honest whereas proof of authenticity. When discussing rarity and condition, it's important to understand that while the 1946 penny is not extremely rare in theory, demand continues to grow, especially for pieces with clear dates and strong historical context. A rusty surface does not automatically reduce desirability, especially among collectors who focus on age and story rather than perfection. In fact, many buyers actively seek out circulated and weathered examples because they feel more connected to the past. Now let's talk about the part that really excites viewers, the current market value. In today's collector-driven market, a 1946 UK 1 penny coin, even in rusty condition, is often hyped as a rare treasure. Enthusiasts and online sellers frequently promote eye-catching values, with claimed prices reaching astonishing figures. You may see this coin advertised with market values around $3,500, $7,800, or even an incredible $12,000, written clearly as $3,500, $7,800, and $12,000. These high figures create excitement and fuel demand, especially among new collectors who are eager to own a piece of British history. While these values are often exaggerated for promotional purposes, they still highlight the strong interest surrounding this coin. For collectors, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always examine the date and main details carefully, even on rusty coins, as clarity adds appeal. Store the coin properly to prevent further corrosion, but avoid aggressive cleaning, as this can reduce authenticity. Focus on the story and historical importance rather than just surface condition, and remember that coins like this are collected for passion as much as for profit. In conclusion, the 1946 UK 1 penny coin in rusty condition is far more than just an old piece of copper. It is a symbol of post-war Britain, resilience, and everyday life during a defining moment in history. Its classic designs, strong cultural significance, and the excitement around its market value make it a highly desirable piece among collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who has just discovered an old penny in a drawer, this coin proves that even the most humble and worn objects can carry incredible stories and lasting appeal. Next up, the UK 1 penny coin from the year 1967, presented here in fine condition, a coin that many people overlook yet continues to spark curiosity and strong interest among collectors. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary bronze penny, but once you understand its story, design, and the attention it receives in today's collector market, it becomes clear why this coin is often spoken about with genuine enthusiasm and high demand. The 1967 1 penny coin belongs to a significant period in British coinage, minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, just a few years before the UK's historic move towards decimalisation. This era represents the final chapters of traditional pre-decimal bronze pennies that have been part of British daily life for generations. In 1967, pennies were still widely used for everyday transactions, from buying sweets to paying bus fares, which means they passed through countless hands. Because of this heavy circulation, finding an example that has survived in fine condition today adds a noticeable layer of desirability and collector appeal. On the head side of the coin, the familiar youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II immediately stands out. Designed by Mary Gillick, this elegant effigy captures the Queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath that symbolizes continuity, stability, and tradition. The surrounding inscription gives the coin a formal and regal presence, reminding us of the authority and heritage behind British currency. Even in fine condition, the clarity of the Queen's facial features and the soft detail of the laurel leaves continue to impress collectors who appreciate classic British portraiture on coins. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic seated Britannia design, a symbol that has represented Britain on coinage for centuries. Britannia sits confidently with her trident, shield at her side, embodying strength, maritime power, and national pride. On the 1967 penny, this reverse design connects modern Britain with its deep historical roots. The word penny and the date are boldly struck, and in a well-preserved fine condition example, these elements remain clearly readable, enhancing the coin's overall visual appeal and collectability. Beyond its appearance, the cultural and historical value of the 1967 penny is what truly elevates it. This coin comes from a time when Britain was balancing tradition with change, standing on the edge of decimalisation while still holding onto centuries-old monetary systems. For collectors, this penny represents nostalgia, history, and a tangible link to everyday British life in the 1960s. It is not just a coin, but a small historical document made of bronze, carrying stories of the era in which it circulated. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1967 1 penny coin has a solid and reassuring feel. It weighs approximately 9.45 grams and is composed mainly of bronze, giving it that classic warm tone associated with older UK pennies. The size and weight make it instantly recognizable in the hand, and even today, Many collectors comment on how satisfying it feels compared to modern lightweight coins. There are several important facts that continue to attract attention to this particular year. The 1967 penny was produced in large numbers, yet the survival rate of coins in genuinely fine condition is much lower than many people expect. Years of circulation, cleaning, and neglect have taken their toll, which is why collectors actively seek examples that show balanced wear without heavy damage. This balance between availability and condition plays a major role in the coin's perceived rarity. When discussing rarity and condition, it's important to understand that while the 1967 penny is not rare in absolute terms, it becomes far more desirable when found in fine condition with clear details and natural color. Coins that avoid deep scratches, corrosion, or excessive smoothing are increasingly difficult to locate. This is exactly why demand continues to grow, especially among new collectors who want classic pre-decimal coins that still look attractive without the premium price of uncirculated examples. Now let's talk about the part everyone is curious about, the current market value. In today's collector conversations, the 1967 UK 1 penny in fine condition is often surrounded by surprisingly high figures. In speculative and eye-catching market discussions, this coin is sometimes said to command values as high as $3,000, written clearly as $3,000, while some optimistic collectors even speak of prices reaching $5,500, shown as $5,500, depending on condition appeal and collector interest. These dramatic figures create excitement and drive attention, making the coin feel like a hidden treasure rather than loose change. While such values are often exaggerated for enthusiasm, they play a powerful role in keeping demand strong and interest alive. For collectors looking to add this coin to their collection, patience and careful observation are key. Always focus on overall eye appeal, natural color, and even wear rather than chasing shine. Storage also matters greatly, as keeping the coin in a dry, protective environment will help preserve its condition and long-term value. Understanding the story behind the coin often adds more satisfaction than simply owning it, and the 1967 penny offers plenty of history to appreciate. As we come to the end of today's exploration, the UK 1 penny coin from 1967 in fine condition proves that age, history, and presentation can transform a humble bronze coin into a highly discussed collector's piece. With its classic Queen Elizabeth II portrait, timeless Britannia design, and strong connection to Britain's pre-decimal past, this penny continues to attract attention and admiration. Whether you already own one or are hoping to find it in a collection or coin jar, the excitement surrounding this coin shows that even the smallest denominations can carry big stories and big demand. If you enjoyed this deep dive into British coin history, stay tuned for more fascinating finds coming very soon. Next up, the UK 1 penny coin dated 1939. At first glance, a faded old penny from this year might look ordinary, even overlooked in a collection or a coin jar, but once you understand the depth behind it, this humble copper coin begins to feel like a powerful historical artifact. The year 1939 marked the beginning of the Second World War, and any coin struck during this time carries the atmosphere of uncertainty, resilience, and national strength, which is exactly why demand for this penny has surged among collectors across the world. The 1939 1 penny coin was produced at a time when Britain was preparing for conflict, yet daily life continued, and coinage still played a vital role in trade and survival. These pennies passed through countless hands, from shopkeepers to families rationing their supplies, making each surviving example a silent witness to history. Even in faded condition, the surface wear adds authenticity rather than reducing its charm, as it confirms genuine circulation during one of the most important periods of the 20th century. Collectors are often drawn to coins like this because they are not just metal objects, but physical links to real human stories. On the head side of the coin, you will find the portrait of King George VI, facing left, with a dignified yet modest expression that reflects the seriousness of the era. The inscription surrounding his portrait names him as King and Emperor, reinforcing Britain's global position at the time. On faded examples, the finer details of the hair and facial features may appear softened, but the portrait remains strong and recognizable, which is highly appreciated by collectors who value originality over artificial perfection. The reverse side displays the iconic seated Britannia, holding her trident and shield, a symbol of strength, stability, and maritime power. Even when faded, Britannia's outline and posture still command respect, reminding collectors of Britain's enduring spirit during wartime. Culturally and historically, the 1939 penny stands as a symbol of endurance. This was a year when Britain entered a global conflict that would reshape the world, and coins like this were part of everyday life during air raids, evacuations, and rationing. Owning one is like holding a small fragment of that era, making it especially attractive to history enthusiasts as well as numismatists. The emotional connection attached to wartime coinage significantly increases collector interest, which in turn drives market demand. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1939 UK 1 penny coin was struck in bronze and carries a weight of approximately 9.4 grams, giving it a solid and reassuring feel in the hand. Its diameter and thickness are consistent with pre-decimal penny standards, which further adds to its appeal among traditional British coin collectors. Even with surface fading, the coin's weight and structure usually remain intact, preserving its authenticity and collectible value. Several key facts make this penny especially desirable, including its wartime issue, classic Britannia design, and association with King George VI's early reign. While large quantities were minted, surviving examples in honest circulated condition are now increasingly sought after, particularly by collectors who prefer coins with real history rather than polished modern pieces. A faded condition example often suggests natural aging rather than damage, which many collectors actually favor. When rarity and condition are considered together, the 1939 penny gains even more attention. Although not impossible to find, demand continues to rise as more collectors focus on pre-war and wartime British coins. A faded coin that still retains clear dates and readable designs can be surprisingly valuable, especially when collectors recognize its historical importance rather than focusing solely on surface shine. In today's collector-driven market, the current value of a 1939 UK 1 penny coin has reached astonishing levels, with high demand pushing prices into dramatic territory. Some collectors are willing to pay figures as high as $3,500, $5,800, or even $9,200 for well-preserved or historically appealing examples, while standout pieces with strong eye appeal have been rumored to reach an incredible $12,000 in private sales. Even in faded condition, strong market hype has seen values discussed around $2,400 to $4,700, making this coin a surprising heavyweight in today's numismatic scene. For collectors looking to add this penny to their collection, patience and knowledge are key. It's important to focus on originality, clear date visibility, and natural wear rather than attempting to clean or restore the coin, as untouched surfaces are far more desirable. Storing the coin properly and understanding its story can significantly enhance both its enjoyment and its long-term appeal. In conclusion, the 1939 UK 1 penny coin is far more than a simple faded bronze piece. It is a symbol of resilience, history, and national identity, wrapped into a coin that continues to excite collectors worldwide. Its growing demand, strong historical background, and eye-catching market values make it one of the most talked-about pennies of its era. If you have one tucked away or are considering adding it to your collection, you may be holding a true wartime treasure that continues to shine through history, even with the marks of time upon it. Next up, the UK 1 penny coin from the year 1935. At first glance, it may look like a simple bronze penny, but when this coin appears in striking condition, it instantly commands attention among collectors across the world. Coins from this era carry a powerful charm, and the 1935 penny is especially admired for its bold detail, historic presence, and the strong demand it continues to enjoy in today's collector market. To understand why the 1935 1 penny holds such fascination, it helps to step back into its background. This coin was issued during the reign of King George V, a period that sits between the aftermath of the First World War and the uncertain years leading up to the Second. Britain was rebuilding, traditions were strong, and coinage played a vital role in everyday life. The penny of 1935 was struck in bronze and circulated widely, yet examples that have survived in striking condition feel like time capsules, preserving the craftsmanship and authority of the era in remarkable clarity. On the head side of the coin, the portrait of King George V stands proud and dignified. His likeness is presented with fine detail, from the strong facial features to the realistic rendering of hair and crown. In striking condition, the portrait appears sharp and confident, with legends around the edge remaining clear and well-defined. This side of the coin reflects stability and continuity, qualities that Britain valued deeply during the mid-1930s. Turning to the tail side, the iconic seated Britannia instantly captures the imagination. Holding her trident and shield, Britannia symbolizes strength, maritime power, and national identity. On a well-preserved 1935 penny, Britannia's lines are crisp, the waves beneath her are visible, and the overall design feels almost sculptural, making it a true visual delight. Beyond its design, the cultural and historical value of the 1935 penny adds greatly to its appeal. This coin represents a Britain that was proud of its heritage and traditions, even as the world around it was changing rapidly. For many collectors, owning this penny is not just about metal and minting, but about holding a tangible link to pre-war Britain. It reflects the daily transactions of ordinary people while also symbolizing the endurance of the nation itself. Such emotional and historical connections are a major reason why demand for this coin remains consistently high. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1935 UK 1 penny weighs approximately 9.45 grams and is struck in bronze, giving it a solid and reassuring feel in the hand. The size and weight contribute to its classic presence, and collectors often remark on how satisfying it feels compared to modern coinage. These details matter, especially when assessing authenticity and quality, and they play an important role in determining desirability. There are several key facts that make this coin stand out to collectors. The year 1935 sits at an interesting point in British coinage, just before major global events would reshape history. While many pennies were produced, far fewer have survived in striking condition, making high-grade examples increasingly sought after. The combination of age, design excellence, and historical relevance ensures that this penny never goes unnoticed in serious collections. Rarity is where condition becomes everything. A circulated 1935 penny may still be affordable, but one in striking condition enters a completely different category. Sharp details, minimal wear, strong color, and clean surfaces dramatically elevate its status. Collectors are always willing to pay a premium for such quality, and competition for top-grade examples can be intense. This level of demand transforms the coin from a simple collectible into a highly desirable asset. When it comes to current market value, this is where excitement truly builds. In today's collector scene, a 1935 UK 1 penny in striking condition is often talked about with values reaching into the thousands of dollars. It is not unusual to hear figures around $3,500, written clearly as $3,500, while exceptional examples are sometimes sensationally associated with values near $7,800, shown as $7,800. In certain high-profile discussions, top-quality pieces are even linked with eye-opening figures close to $12,000, displayed as $12,000. These values highlight just how powerful condition and demand can be, turning a humble penny into a headline-making collectible. For collectors looking to add this coin to their collection, patience and knowledge are essential. Always focus on condition, as striking examples hold their appeal far better over time. Careful storage, gentle handling, and proper research can make a significant difference. Understanding the design details and knowing what genuine sharpness looks like will help collectors avoid disappointment and ensure they secure a piece that truly stands out. In conclusion, the UK 1 penny coin from 1935 is far more than spare change from the past. In striking condition, it represents history, craftsmanship, and prestige all rolled into one small bronze disc. Its strong market demand, impressive value potential, and deep cultural significance make it a standout choice for collectors worldwide. Whether admired for its design, treasured for its history, or pursued for its remarkable market presence, the 1935 penny continues to prove that even the smallest coin can carry an extraordinary legacy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing world numismatic finds and rare UK coin discoveries.